After more than 2 years away from the cage, Ritu Phogat's MMA comeback turned into a disaster. In just 144 seconds of the opening round, she was swiftly submitted by the Japanese zombie Ayaka Miura via a brutal shoulder choke. The loss raises serious questions about Phogat's preparation and highlights the sheer dominance of Ayaka Miura. But was this just a misstep, or did Phogat run into an opponent simply out of her league? These are two fighters with distinct styles and strong identities. So what really happened in that cage? Why couldn't Phogat respond? And could this victory be the launching pad for Ayaka Miura to rise to the pinnacle of women's MMA? Let's rewind and look at the incredible accomplishments of Ayaka Miura, because the nickname Zombie is no exaggeration. One standout moment, her clash against Samara Santos at One, Call to Greatness, where top-tier warriors entered the cage with one mission: refuse to back down. Here, fans witnessed both fighters walk in with unwavering confidence. Ayaka Miura makes her way to the cage, her face locked in focus, eyes like laser beams on the steel enclosure. Her steps are measured, fearless, radiating pure intensity. Without saying a word, her stare alone delivers a message. Anyone facing her tonight will have to go through hell to win. And now, here comes Samara Marituba Santos. Her stride is powerful, full of energy, yet laced with a hint of defiance. Her piercing gaze sweeps across the crowd, staking her claim in the arena. Her expression shows total confidence in her Muay Thai striking. She's here to prove that Brazilian firepower can silence the hype surrounding this unshakable Japanese warrior. Both fighters are ready. They approach each other at the center of the cage, tension thick enough to cut through. They lock eyes, nod slightly, and it feels like they're silently saying, "We didn't come here to play games. We came to fight to the very end." The opening bell rings! Miura charges forward immediately, just as expected. She wants this fight on the ground, and she gets it. Miura takes control, igniting the crowd into a roar. She quickly clamps onto Santos's shoulders with a tight grip, restricting all movement. But Miura runs into resistance. Santos, a purple belt in BJJ, is no easy prey. She instantly pulls her legs in, trying to create space, pushes her knee into Miura's hip, and attempts to pull guard. Miura counters by maintaining side control, pinning Santos's upper body while shifting her hips to apply pressure. Suddenly, Santos snaps into a reverse triangle, wrapping her legs around Miura's neck and shoulder in a dangerous choke that could flip the fight. But Miura stays composed, braces with her arms, adjusts her head, and slowly slips free. The final 2 minutes of round one are a gritty ground war. Miura keeps looking for her signature Americana lock, hooking the arm, changing angles, cranking down on the shoulder. But Santos defends beautifully, keeping her elbows tight, hips locked, and rotating her back to avoid being finished. Miura switches to top control offense, dropping short elbows and right hands. One looping shot lands hard behind Santos's ear, shaking her balance. But the Brazilian keeps her cool. At that moment, the crowd is stunned. Santos is showing real grit.
Inside the opening 7 seconds per round. position for Miura. I don't think the choke is quite in, but she's able to hold her. You can see Miura might be able to pop her head out. She's trying. Santos has got that vice-like grip around the head. Miura, you wonder if he's ready to the forward spine. The red nail polish does belong to Santos. There from Miura.
Tension. Pressure. Round 1 ends like a chess match between two masters, and no one dares blink. Both fighters return to their corners, foreheads glistening with sweat, eyes still burning with fire. The audience knows. This is just the beginning of a war between two relentless spirits hungry for victory. Round 2 begins, and Miura doesn't slow down. Like an arrow released from a bow, she shoots forward with the same takedown strategy, and this time, she finds the crack in Santos's defense. She drags her opponent down again, and this time, there's no escape. Miura locks in the Americana. She rotates, cranks Santos's arm tight, and in just 39 seconds, the Brazilian is forced to tap. The crowd erupts as the fight ends in dramatic fashion. Once again, Ayaka Miura doesn't just win. She reasserts her identity. A master of ground control, a quiet force with deadly precision. At One Fight Night 16, Ayaka Miura delivered a performance that reminded everyone why she's known as the Zombie. Unlike Phogat, Miura returned from her layoff and went toe-to-toe with a monster, Meng Bo, notorious for her one-punch knockout power. And still, Miura finished the fight in under 3 minutes. It wasn't just a comeback, it was a statement. Ayaka Miura is still a serious contender in the title race. The fight begins. Meng Bo takes the initiative, keeping her distance and circling around to maximize her striking advantage. She throws a series of probing jabs, mixing in powerful right hands that force Miura into a cautious guard. But Miura doesn't rush. She patiently inches forward, like a cat stalking its prey, waiting for the perfect moment to close the gap. And then it happens. As Meng Bo finishes a punch and hasn't yet reset, Miura instantly closes the distance. She clinches the hips and executes a takedown, not with brute force, but with surgical precision. After defending an initial scramble, Miura secures a pivotal takedown, dragging Meng Bo to the canvas. The crowd erupts. This might just be the moment they've all been waiting for. The moment the zombie rises again. In a flash, Miura transitions from offense to complete control. With ironclad grappling technique, she closes the distance and starts setting up a tight submission. Meng Bo struggles desperately, clawing at Miura's grip around her neck. But Miura doesn't relent. She tightens her hold, slowly and methodically, like a predator locking in the kill. No theatrics, no panic. Miura traps Meng Bo's arm, pins it across her chest, and begins landing clean, controlled ground and pound. Meng Bo's face contorts in pain. She kicks and squirms, trying to break free, but the more she struggles, the tighter Miura's grip becomes. Miura doesn't need speed. She's using something colder, raw, calculated force. Within seconds, Meng Bo has no choice but to tap. The fight ends abruptly. Victory belongs to Ayaka Miura. The referee rushes in to wave it off. And right then, Miura breaks down in tears. Not from pain, not from exhaustion, but because she's just clawed her way out of a 2-year nightmare, marked by losses, doubt from fans, and even deeper doubt from within. This win is her loudest declaration yet. She's still here, still a warrior, and still capable of winning on her own terms.
This contest after 2 minutes and 9 seconds in the very first round. For your winner, by way of Scarf Hold Americana, Ayaka!
Coincidentally, Ritu Phogat has also carved out a legacy filled with epic fights, cementing her image as a tiger hungry for victory after years in the cage. Especially during her showdown with Meng Bo at the One Women's Atomweight World Grand Prix, a tournament where the smallest warriors fought for the biggest dream, a title shot at the World Championship. 8 fighters, 1 golden ticket, and no room for mistakes. The screen flashes with fight stats, 2 names, 2 destinies. Ritu Phogat, known as the Indian Tigress, quiet but lethal. Meng Bo, the Chinese striker with fire in her fists and explosion in her style. This wasn't just another tournament round. It was a proving ground, one that would show who still had the grit to survive in the brutal women's strawweight division. The bell rings. Round 1 kicks off. Phogat and Meng Bo enter the fray, both calculating every move. Within the first 20 seconds, Meng Bo shows why she's one of the most feared strikers in the tournament. She cuts angles, closes distance with jabs, then snaps off a vicious right hook, the same punch that scored her a KO in the previous round. The moment of impact comes just after the first minute. She clips Ritu's left cheek and staggers her slightly. Most fighters would panic. Not Phogat. She immediately resets, tightens her defense, and uses Meng's forward momentum against her. In a flash, Ritu changes levels, clinches at the hips, and sweeps Meng's leg with a textbook outside trip. Meng crashes into half guard. But Phogat doesn't rush the finish. She isolates Meng's right arm, pins the shoulder, and begins a steady ground and pound assault with short elbows and punches, enough to score, enough to dominate. The horn sounds, ending a fierce round where neither gave an inch. Every exchange kept the referee and the crowd on the edge of their seats.
Watch
Round 2 begins. Meng Bo keeps up the pressure, but Ritu Phogat has clearly adjusted her game plan. No longer just countering, she's initiating, looking for the takedown and seizing control. The two fighters keep moving, the pace relentless. Meng lands some quick jabs and low kicks, but Phogat stands tall, durable, unmoving. Then comes the moment. She sees the opening, sweeps Meng to the ground, and locks into top control. From there, Phogat rains down knees and elbows, wearing Meng down, draining her power. The round ends with momentum fully in Phogat's favor, a clear message to the crowd. This is a fight about control, and Phogat is in the driver's seat.
In her ground and pound attacks, and I think that's a large part due to her coach, Ayaka Miura. We're seeing that. Look at that knees, elbow punching, controlling with one arm and attacking with another limb. This is advanced ground and pound. Meng Bo needs to get up. She needs to get out of this position. She does not want to stay here with Ritu.
As they enter the final round, Meng Bo knows she's behind on the scorecards. She turns up the pressure. In the first 30 seconds, she throws 2 mid-kicks and a punch combo, but none of them land clean. Ritu is no longer standing in the center. She's circling near the fence, using it to absorb and redirect the impact. Then comes the pivotal moment at 120. Meng throws a right cross. Ritu slips to the outside and shoots for a single-leg takedown. She grabs the leg, sweeps it, and brings Meng down into a full defensive posture. Instead of chasing a risky submission, Ritu focuses on control, pinning Meng's shoulders, pressing her into the mat. This is tactical maturity. She knows when to strike and when to hold steady to lock in the win.
Down and end up back inside control. There needs to be some kind of urgency. Meng Bo needs to reach down deep. She talks so much smack in the lead up to this match. Lately looking past the entire Atomweight tournament, focusing solely on Angela Lee. That could have been a mistake because right now she's got the Indian Tigress on top, laying a beat down on her.
the second round. She does have a 76% takedown accuracy, 16 takedowns overall, the most in the women's division to Europe Championship. Sitting in half guard as we tick in the final 20 seconds. Ritu Phogat domination. Ritu Phogat hammers away at the face. I've got a big smile on my face, Dragon. You and I will get to hear this one. I said Ritu would beat her. It looks like we're going to go down the judges. Is Ritu going to go through the semi-final?
The referee steps to the center, raising Ritu Phogat's arm as the arena erupts. She is officially declared the winner, reclaiming her place in the spotlight. The fight felt like two separate battles, a near disaster in round one, followed by total dominance in the next two. The audience couldn't take their eyes off it.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of battle, we turn now to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges have called this contest in favor of your winner by unanimous decision from
Both Ayaka Miura and Ritu Phogat boast impressive, hard-earned records. But in the jungle, there's only room for one tiger at the top. At One Championship 171, all eyes are on the return of the Indian tigress Ritu Phogat, after a 2-year hiatus, squaring off against Japanese judo ace Ayaka Miura. The crowd roars, drums pounding with a Middle Eastern rhythm, setting the stage for a fight that promises edge-of-your-seat intensity.
本当に今回出ました。いろんな技用意してます。まだまだたくさんあります。
I'm always trying to use some.
Miura for the first 90 seconds. Again, another takedown attempt by Miura. The zombie's relentless red. She will not quit until you are trapped.
Round one is underway, and the crowd is electric. The arena is split. One half cheering for Miura's crisp judo technique, the other half rallying behind the long-awaited return of Ritu Phogat. Veteran referee Olivier Coste signals the start, and both women charge in like seasoned ground game tacticians.
Judo black belt, but she's a third-degree judo black belt. Is Ayaka Miura. She's spent a lifetime on the mats.
Ritu opens with a few jabs to measure distance, looking to initiate a clinch and work her wrestling game. But Miura doesn't flinch. The Japanese fighter steps back, baiting Phogat into overcommitting. And that's when the trap springs. Miura capitalizes, executing a slick throw from the clinch, landing in flawless side control. The audience holds its breath as Miura shifts her hips. Then, boom! A knee bar setup straight from the judo playbook, enhanced with BJJ flair. Miura torques her body and applies full pressure to Phogat's right knee. The crowd falls silent, waiting. Tap, tap, tap. Phogat taps out 3 times, loud and clear. The referee dives in just in time to prevent serious injury, a perfectly timed intervention. Despite her toughness and heart, Ritu Phogat is forced to tap at 2:24 of round one of the fastest and cleanest finishes of the night. Emotions couldn't be more different. Miura sobbing in triumph, having just proven her worth to the world. Phogat stunned and deflated, not because she lacked skill, but because Miura read her, exploited the weakness, and seized the decisive moment.
Referee Mr. Mohammed Sulaiman has called a stop to this contest after 2 minutes and 24 seconds in the very first round. For your winner, by way of Ayaka Miura.
And so, inside the Lusail Sports Arena, in a battle that took everyone's breath away, Ayaka Miura didn't just win a fight. She won the hearts of fans, a perfect submission, a powerful comeback, and a silent message louder than any words. I fell, but I never gave up.